YouTube was cracking. Long time no see, long time no hear. This is actually my first video and live video of the year. I'm not gonna say much except what's good, what's happening. I will be back soon. What's good, Queen Cafe? Raina was cracking. Thank goodness, huh? I'll be back. Give me a little minute. See, I actually have a life to tend to. I got things to organize, reorganize. I got things to test out, processes to perfect. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff takes personal time. You know, if I was on YouTube every day, I wouldn't be actually accomplishing nothing in real life. I'd just be running my mouth. So I had to go to the drawing board. I had to go back to the playing field. I got to start putting two and two together, reevaluating, you know, so I can come back full-fledged for the new year. This 2019. So I shouldn't be talking about the same shit. New year, new plans, new strategies, you know. On to the next one. So it's a lot of things that have changed, but a lot of things haven't. Sammy G was crack-a-lacking. Annie was good. Shout out to Matrix Media. Who all we got in the building? Make sure everybody's still out there. What city? What states? We got Michael in the shot. Mikael. New Jersey in the house. Texas, New Jersey. What's up, man? I'm glad YouTube, Oklahoma. I'm glad YouTube is notifying y'all that I have a live video. I hope that my audio is right. I hope that my visual is right. All today is a peace, what's up, and a mic check. I make sure everything is right. Everything all good. Tennessee in the house. Queen Cafe, just hit me up. The Hellraiser at privatemail.world or become a member at the hellraiserlegacy.world. Orlando. What's good? What's good? So this year, we scratching all the BS, all the BS processes that don't work, all the BS information that's irrelevant, and we're gonna put some realistic things in perspective. I'm gonna hurt a lot of feelings, break a lot of hearts, you know, because I know it's hard for some people to let something that they put a lot of time and money into. But hey, it's all about business. Exactly. It's all about business. At the end of the day, it's back to business. So if we don't have a clear understanding on how to conduct business, there's no way possible you can be any sort of secure party creditor or secure party in general. So I'm gonna reveal and continue to reveal some basic fundamentals on operating as a so-called secure party. So basic that it's gonna go over so many people's head and they're not gonna apply these basic principles to whatever they're doing in their life. But those who apply these basic principles are going to see all this other stuff open up and make sense and realize it was the basics that was the most important thing. Everything else is just icing on the cake. It's just additional security. King. I don't really deal with the suing people and collecting money from people stuff. So you gotta I don't know. That to me that's really basic. The basic it's a basic process. You sue somebody, you go through the courts and you take them to court, you win, and you collect. The courts make sure you get paid. Oh yeah, I think they sleep on that package. Yeah, they sleep on the package. Yeah, I have a video on the authenticated birth certificate. But it's time to get back to business. So it doesn't matter if you have a business. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Every day you wake up and you go outside, you go to work, you're conducting business. What's up, young dang? What's cracking? We definitely don't do no TDA process. Like I say, every day you wake up, you go to work, you conducting business. Every day you go to the gas station, put some gas in your car, you conducting business. Every time you go sit down at that restaurant with family, friends, whoever, colleagues, you conducting business. Now you need to ask yourself, are you getting credit for the business that you're conducting on a day-to-day basis? Or are you allowing your employer to get all the credit? You need to ask yourself that question. So it's time to change the misperception of business. It doesn't matter if you have something to sell or if you don't. It doesn't matter if you have a service to sell or you don't. Business is business. Business is simply transacting on a day-to-day basis. If you're transacting currency in exchange for products and services on a day-to-day basis, you're conducting business. So you got to ask yourself, are you minding your business? Are you minding your own business? Are you managing over your business? Or are you allowing everybody else to manage over your own affairs or to get the credit for your business transacting? I'm making sure I get credit for every transaction I do in this world, in this life. Because I know somebody else is. Business is business. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing personal, no emotions, nothing. Are we managing our own business first? That's been a secure party creditor, or that's been a secure party in general. Are we taking care of our business? Are we taking proper bookkeeping throughout the year? Every transaction you make, you should have some type of system that logs those transactions. We spending too much money on food and gas alone to not be reaping the benefits on some type of return at the end of that business year. Just down the way. We just running around swiping cards and spending debt notes, spending money with no credit behind it. Why would they park this big car directly behind my shit? But we got to get in tune. Are you working a 9-to-5 job? Are you having that employer cut you a check? Are you getting direct deposit into a personal bank account instead of a business bank account? Richard, what's cracking? What about the courts? Everybody should have a business bank account. If you work in a 9 to 5 job, though, that so-called income needs to be the direct deposit inside your business bank account. Why? Because now you can leverage your personal income into becoming business receivables and business income. And with business receivables and business income, now you can leverage that to get business loans and then establish business credit. So now you turning your personal endeavors into a business now, because that's what it's all about anyway. Private banking, he say. It's a misinterpretation what private banking is too. But shit is real simple. All you have to do is reorganize and restructure. Yo, Cooper, just hit me up. No, this is it's a natural organic tea. Natural organic tea. For consultations, the Hellraiser at privatemail.world. I'm in Chicago. Best way to set up bank accounts. Depends on what you're trying to do. It's good to have several bank accounts. You might have a personal, you might have a corporate bank account up under LLC, and you might have a bank account that's up under a trust. You should have several bank accounts for different purposes. The trust account is where you deposit all your funds to have, the proper asset protection over that money. But you might use the LLC or the bank account for the LLC to transact the daily funds that you and the business makes. So the money might transact through the LLC account, but then you withdraw and deposit that money, all the receivables for the LLC, into the trust account so nobody can touch it, on the worst case scenario type thing. Oh yeah, non-interest bearing accounts. Good, Raymond. So the non-interest bearing accounts, those are good in general, but you got to think about this. I think it's a misinterpretation on the non-interest bearing accounts. Let's say if you had a big settlement or whatever, you got a boatload of money that you want to put somewhere that's gonna grow. Well, for one, the banks typically don't pay out the most when they're talking about when you're trying to build interest on a particular type of money, on a certain set of money. But you will want to put your money inside of an interest-bearing account so it can accumulate interest. So let's not confuse the interest-bearing accounts as being the ones that's actually taking interest from the money that you put in there. The interest-bearing accounts is actually the meaning the money is going to receive interest from holding that money inside of that account. If you set it up like that. Now, the most bank accounts are typically set up taking interest from the money, meaning that the monthly maintenance fees and the check fees, the transaction fees, and all those things. King says, have I ever filed a declaration? I've declared a lot of things within these years. Absolutely. Say FDIC protection does not exist. Hey, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Last time I checked, FDIC was the insurance for the bank, which means that there are insurance. They cover our insurance as well. So that means you being a member of that bank, you can file claims against that insurance policy because you also are a beneficiary or a trustee of that insurance policy. Yeah, what goes into the trust is owned by the trust, but controlled by you. Own nothing, control everything. Richard said the FBI threatened to arrest him. Why would they do that? Yeah, I wouldn't feel too comfortable. I feel more comfortable with all of my major assets being inside of a trust or a trust account. Absolutely. All the other accounts are just there as front men. They're there to transact, receive, and I use those accounts for leverage to gain things like loans and lines of credit and stuff like that. But as far as my safekeeping vault, that's gonna be my trust account all day, hands down. I wouldn't let a certain amount of money sit into these personal accounts or even the corporate accounts. Everything would be inside of my trust account. Matrix Media says, have I ever heard of Patrick Devine? Of course. Patrick Devine was one of my mentors or teachers, dealing with, especially with the GSAs and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll leave this video up for a little bit. Harry says, would me filing an executor affidavit give me control over the legal fiction? See, those type of questions, that leads me to believe that we're still not understanding what all this is for and what it does. Filing these declarations and affidavits, they don't, all they play as is security and insurance to back up whatever claim that you might have if you had to pursue some type of legal action, or if somebody or agencies wanted to pursue some type of legal action against you. But ultimately, when you're talking about control, if you want to control the legal fiction, all you have to do is remove your placement and your position. When I say move your placement and your position, separate yourself from the legal fiction, which is the purpose of the authenticated birth certificate and all the filings that we do. The main purpose is to remove yourself from the legal fiction. But you can do all this paperwork but still be tied to the legal fiction based on how you're doing your day-to-day contracting. So you do 1 million affidavits and put them on a record, but yet you go to the Sprint store to get a cell phone service, and then they ask you for your your EIN or your social security number. You give them your social security number because you're not doing business, you on some personal shit. But instead of doing business and giving them your EIN number for your business that has the same name as you, you do the opposite. So now you just put yourself in a position with that contract to not be in control over the legal fiction. Want to know why? Because you gave authority for the Sprint company to manage over that particular estate, that dead corpse, because you gave it to them. You gave them consent to charge. You say, here you go, take this number, you can charge that. And that applies to any and everything you do on a per contract basis. Everything is on a per contract basis. I don't care how many affidavits you do or declarations. Every contract you get into, you have the option and choice to either to either grant control to another party over that particular entity, which is that 9-digit number. Now, if you got, I'm not saying don't contract. What I'm saying is how you contract. So if you happen to have to give that number away in order to produce that contract or relationship with that company, okay, cool, whatever. But at least your job by releasing those keys to that legal corporation or that number is to reserve your rights to keep control over that number and over that account. But if you just giving a number out and not saying, here you go, and here go all my rights as well, because we're not reserving our rights within the contract. It's not about what you do, it's how you do it all day, hands down. It ain't about what you do, it's how you do it all day, hands down. If you're gonna use it, make sure that you reserve your rights and limiting their rights. If you don't reserve your rights, they have unlimited rights. By you reserving your rights, they have limited rights as to what they can do on the back end with that number. What you got to understand is it's a world of information sharing, meaning all of these agencies are in cahoots with each other, or an alliance or partnership with each other to share information. This is an information sharing world. That's why social media is so big. So you better believe you get at bank, your address and your telephone number, your email, all these different accounts are tied to registrations and individual registrations that's shared in a big pool of information, data collected by all of these agencies to be able to determine who you are and where you are. So I keep telling people, change your legal address, correct your legal address status. Your legal address should not be your personal home address. Nobody should be able to address you directly. They have your address. Now they have the power and authority to address you in any matter that they wish. Whether it's by debt obligations or summons to court. But if you didn't give them consent to address you because they don't have your actual resident address to prove that you are a resident within a certain city, how can they categorize you in that fashion to make you obligated to any liabilities for any debts that was dealt within that corporation called a city or a town or whatever you stay at? Yeah, a P.O. box that's read as an actual street address, meaning no P.O. box, suite number, because they block you on application process because they don't allow P.O. boxes. So you have to have a P.O. box with a company that will list that address as a suite for you. Man, it's quite a bit of people popping in. Shit, I think Facebook had me on. YouTube had me on YouTube jail for a minute because people said they weren't getting no notifications and nothing. Yep. Yeah, like, see, if we really pay attention, notice every contract that we get into with a new contractor, they want that address and that telephone number. That address and that telephone number is the key. The two keys, the two main keys to tie you back to that straw man or that legal fiction that everybody's talking about, or that corporation that everybody's talking about. Those are the two things that tie you back to that. So how you get control over that is not giving them things to be able to tie you back to the corporation. Simple. This stuff is very simple. No paperwork is gonna do this for you. It's only by you doing correcting certain contracts. Just like your cell phone number. You can't even give them a landline no more. They want your cell phone number. They want someone wants your home and your cell phone number. They want your cell phone number because at first the cell phone number wasn't efficient enough or valid enough to confirm identity. But now, it's 2019. So they know you got to understand all these major cell phone companies, Verizon Wireless, Sprint, T-Mobile, all these big sharks in the cellular world, they've come to the point now where they can validate based on all the information they've received throughout all the decades and years of being service providers for you, that 9 times out of 10, over at least 90% of the people that obtain especially contracted cell phones, as opposed to prepaid. Even the prepaid service has a contract in it that has a identity verification. So they can pretty much bet that the majority of the people that they provide services for have given them their actual residential private residential addresses tied to that number, right? And if you don't go back and take that number and correct that, take that number and remove it from residential into commercial, and then put your corporate title on that and tie the corporate title to that number and remove your personal, then guess what? They're going to be up under the assumption that you want to personally do business with them instead of doing business to business with them. We have to do business to business with businesses and not personal to business. If that makes sense. We got to be careful for these little traps. You sign up for a service and they want to verify your identity. So what they ask for? Like, I think even Twitter now. I think one account I tried to reestablish, I think my Twitter account or my Instagram, and they say, okay, they want your telephone number to blah, 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 blah. All right, I try to give them a Google Voice number or a Text Now number. The system is already hip to all these app numbers that we be downloading and using, trying to be private. But we got to understand, even with using those, a lot of people got Google Voice. That's probably the most popular. Who owns Google Voice? Google, the biggest information share on the planet, the biggest trick on the planet, the biggest tattletale and snitch on the planet. So Google Voice knows who the fuck you are because you had to use your Google account in order to establish the number. So that's not private. But the agencies in general, they hip to that because they know that. Because a lot of these social media sites are owned by Google or ran by Facebook or whatever like that. So, and they have contractual partnership agreements for data sharing, right? They feed each other data. So when they send you that security code to your phone, yeah, it's for your security, but it's also for their validation purposes as well. For them to make sure they know who you are or able to attach you or touch you whenever they need to, or to be able to address you whenever they need to, because that number is tied to an address. Okay, you might think, well, my Google Voice number not tied to my address. No, you got to think real deep on the contracts that's tied to that contract. So you got a Google Voice number, but you got to think of how was the Google Voice number? The Google Voice number was established through your email contract with Google. When your email, in order to establish the email contract, you had to give them a name, a number, and an actual address, a physical address, because they don't accept PO boxes. So you got all these layers of contracts that we not being aware of. But we talking about private. And I know for sure the majority of us are falling for these tricks. Because, want to know why? Because I can count on one hand how many people have sent me an email through a private email server. Majority of people got they name or whatever at Yahoo or at Google or I mean at Gmail, whatever like that. All y'all using they shit. Hell yeah, Raina. Yep. They feeding each other. They contracting with each other. So that being said, you have to establish separate separate tools for you to use in the private. Meaning get you a brand new phone. It could be a little trap phone, a little flip phone from the dollar store. A real prepaid service where you gotta buy the minute cards and put the minute in there, put the minute confirmation number in there to activate it. Not the fake prepaid contract prepaid services that you still on a month to month contract with. It's still prepaid, but it's month to month, but it's still a contract. If you want to be completely private, you got to use the dummy phones. The smartphones do not have your best interest when it comes to privacy. Maybe fun and convenience and entertainment, but not your privacy. Get you a dumb old flip phone, the dumbest, oldest flip phone you can get. Activate a service, and that's the number you use when they asking for cell phone numbers and stuff like that. When you talking to an agency and they trying to, oh, what's your cell phone number? Ask them, what's your cell phone number? Oh, but they're not going to give you their cell phone number. They're going to get a number to their company. They're going to give you their company's number. Oh, let me get your email address. No, they don't give you their company's email address because they're conducting business. And they want to get you to conduct personal. They want you to tie personal with business. So they can address you personally. That's a big problem giving these people the power to address you personally. That's a huge issue. Pay attention to these lawyers and stuff out here. These government officials and agents. They all have names that look like names, but you got to look closely. It's always a DBA. They're always doing business. So who are you doing business as? Are you doing business as your straw man? And unless you establish a DBA, LLC, or a trust to stand in front, they're gonna assume that you are the straw man because you didn't let them know that you're doing business as anything else. So now you left room for assumptions, and that's what they love. They love when we assume some shit. What I'm trying to understand is why these teachers out here not putting this shit out here. It's funny how all these gurus skip over the most important things, the basic elements to operating privately as a secured party creditor. That shit is some bullshit. If you skip over this stuff, you're destined to lose. Not gonna see no results. You're gonna spend more money, and people be like, when they be like, oh, I gotta do all this. Yeah, it's the extra little tedious, petty stuff you gotta do to make sure you're in the right position and you don't contradict the position you're trying to be in. So people wonder why I don't got time to be online all the time because I apply all these little petty ass elements. I have to take my time to organize, continue to constantly reorganize, re-strategize to make sure I'm applying these little petty elements that people look over to make sure that if a problem occurs, I'm in a proper position, a proper capacity to defend myself. Period. That's it. That's all. Being in a proper position, proper capacity. Being a secure party is being behind this position right here. So when they come at you, they're hitting this brick wall. They got to get through this brick wall before they can touch you. Okay, so what's this brick wall called? I don't know. Give it a name. The first brick wall can be a DBA. Okay, let's say they fuck around and knock that brick wall out. The second brick wall, oh shit, it's still not you. It's an LLC. But before they can get to the LLC, I forgot. The LLC is a front man too, because it's owned by the trust. So it's an invisible wall just popped up out the blue when they tried to touch the LLC. They can't never get through the trust. They can't never get through. They might be able to wiggle through the DBA to find out that there's an LLC, and then when they get to the LLC, they find out it's an invisible wall over the LLC called the irrevocable trust, and then the real person is sitting back there drinking tea, chilling. It's just like that the cartoon, The Three Little Pigs. I think that's what it's called, with the wolf that kept on blowing down their house or whatever. They kept trying to rebuild better, stronger, and better structures so the wolf wouldn't come blow down the fucking house. That's what it's all about. Stop using hay sacks to build your house and to build the foundation to your house. We gotta start using steel, heavy metals. Steel and heavy metals. No wood. We ain't popping no pencils. So business. I don't care what paperwork you filling out. If you're not setting yourself up to do business, you're gonna lose. Because every day you walk outside, you doing business. So let's not get drowned into this secure party creditor paperwork. Get that shit done and over with so we can start taking care of some real business. Then once that happens, now we put ourselves in a better position. So now it's more of us that we can do business with each other now. And that's when the real fun starts. That's what I want people to understand. If you got people that surround you now that's all set up and secure, everybody got their personal stuff dealt with. You got your little personal filings done, everything to secure you personally, to remove whatever contracts you can get, all that stuff. Cool. Get that out the way. Set up the businesses. And now we can do business. Now, when we do business at secure parties, that's when we have fun, because we understand contracts and we understand credit. We understand producing credits is all about producing contracts. This when we get into our promissory note and collateralized loans, and leveraging the fact that we're all in business, so we can create contracts between each other and agreements between each other. And we understand the principles on how to document and record these obligations between each other to produce credits for us to use in this commercial world. Y'all hit me up. The Hellraiser at privatemail.world. Make sure y'all join the Hellraiser Legacy.world. Check out nationalfinancealliance.world. Check out tradecapital.world. Check out americannationals.org. But yeah, I was saying what's up to y'all. I'm slowly trying to work myself back up to be able to put out some new information, some new videos, some updates, new strategies, tactics, concepts. I've been having a lot of fun. There's been a lot going on, and yeah, back to it. Peace, 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 peace. Let me see if I do have a contact number now for the public. Let me see if I can remember it. It's let me think. What is my new number? Anyway, go to any one of the websites, and the number is actually on top of the page. So if you go to the hellraiserlegacy.world, you see I have a number now on there. So if you guys want to schedule consultations or whatever like that, I'm very easy to reach now, even more easy to reach now. But when you call that number, make sure y'all pay attention to what I'm doing. Everything I do, I'm directly and directly showing you exactly how you establish yourself and your businesses so it can work in your favor. I'm gonna see if I can pull this number out for those that don't remember the websites. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Hey Raina, hey, can you put my number in the chat? That 188 number. That's on National Finance Alliance.world. Or TradeCapital.world. It's a number. Somebody go check out one of the websites and put the number in the chat. So www.tradecapital.world. That's TRECAPITAL.world. The number's at the top right there. Also, nationalfinancealliance.world. The number's at the top of the page. And the hellraiserlegacy.world. The number's at the top of the page. Stay in tune. Whoever can retrieve that number, whoever can retrieve that number real quick, put it in the chat for me. Somebody drop that toll-free number in there for me. I need some aid and assistance, please, please. Richard, we got all credit repair stuff inside the Hellraiser Legacy. All credit repair letters. Yeah, what's that number, Raina? Can you put it in the chat? All good. Oh wow. They're not letting you put the number in. YouTube on that bullshit. Alright, but like I said, y'all, just check out one of the websites, and the numbers on there. And I'll add it to the description of the video after I post it. Alright, I'll leave it in the description in about 30 minutes tops. Indeed. Alright. It's been good hollering at y'all. First time of the year. I'm gonna try to be I'm gonna try to keep up with this at least once a week, possibly. And get back warmed up and in tune, and used to doing these videos. And let's get it. Peace. Let's work smart, not harder, y'all. Work smarter, not harder. The answers are simple. Peace, peace.